started the day really early, but we were on the road before 6 a.m. because we wanted to get to the Lamar Valley for sunrise or close to sunrise. It's famous for the wildlife viewing. A lot of times pictures you've seen of Yellowstone with wildlife were taken in Lamar Valley. And when we got there, it didn't disappoint. There was bison everywhere. Bison in the road, bison on a bridge, bison crossing the road, bison rolling in the dirt. It was a really cool experience. Then we continued on through the Lamar Valley and went out the northeast entrance of Yellowstone and to join the scenic highway, the Beartooth Highway, which goes up to over 10,000 feet in elevation. Once you get up there, it's like a tundra environment. Many switchbacks to get up there. It is quite high. You switch back across the mountain. When you get up there, it's very similar to an Arctic environment. And we were lucky enough to spot a couple of mountain goats lying not too far off the road. We were able to see them, so that was pretty cool. I think the elevation tops out 10,947 feet, where the road cuts through or crosses over the mountains. We went down the other side to a town called Rock Lodge, and we walked around the town a little bit, stretched our legs because we'd been in the car for several hours at that point. Toured the town, visited some shops, got gas, and then we made the return trip, stopping at vistas, several mountaintop lakes, alpine lakes, or beautiful vistas with mountains in the background, and continued our drive back across the pass, back into Yellowstone, across the Lamar Valley again, and then we came up here to the south rim of the canyon in Yellowstone, saw the upper falls, the lower falls, and it was a pretty great day. All right, this morning we got up super early to come out here and tour the Lamar Valley, which is famous for their wildlife spotting. A lot of the wildlife come over here in the summertime for good grazing. We just started our trip into the valley. There's the bison over here. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come, as we literally just turned into the valley. We're just starting our trek. The valley is the summer home of many of the animals in the park, including the over 4,500 bison. The Lamar Valley is located in the northeast part of the park and is a stark difference from the geyser basins we visited yesterday. Although only 70 miles separate the two areas, they are worlds apart. The geyser basins are inhospitable to most animals, while the valley is green and lush and supports many different species. Still just starting our journey through the valley here. Came across these herds of buffalo. Several hundred of them. Here alongside the road, just grazing. It didn't take long for the buffalo to show themselves. As it was early in the morning, they were on the move. Large groups were moving along the valley and crossing the road. It was quite a sight to see, as these massive creatures have zero interest in humans. They came very close to the car as they crossed the road. It was definitely an adrenaline rush with so many of them so close. We also got to experience the legendary bison jam, where animals stop traffic. Can you hear them? Here we got a whole herd of bison coming. The number of buffalo in the park has fluctuated over the years. In Yellowstone, they allow for a natural progression of the animals. The weather, predators, and disease all play a factor in the careful balance between the species. August is also the start of the rut season for bison. During this time, they pair off and the males will compete for the females. While we did see many animals on the day, a few continued to elude us. The gray wolf was reintroduced to Yellowstone in 1995 after being removed from the park in the 1920s. The wolves have made a comeback, and rangers estimate there are now between 120 and 140 wolves across the various packs.
poop. Let me get his pooping.
We've got lots of buffalo out here. We spotted our first pronghorn. Kind of hard to see right down here in the valley. This is the only thermal feature on this side of the park, and it's nearly extinct. There's no action, no bubbling spring, no geyser. Just the faint smell of gas still escaping. Strong smell of sulfur. After driving through the valley, we continued on the road towards the park's northeast gate. After driving through Lamar Valley and having an incredible experience seeing so many bison, we left the park through the northeast entrance and continued on US Route 212. This stretch of highway, known today as the Beartooth Highway,
is one of the most scenic byways in the United States. It connects Cook City, Wyoming to Red Lodge, Montana. The road stretches 68 miles between the two towns, climbs to an elevation of almost 11,000 feet, has numerous switchbacks, and traverses an Arctic tundra. The 68-mile drive took us almost 2 hours each way. It actually took us much longer during our trip back, east to west, as we stopped multiple times for hikes, overlooks, and a picnic lunch. We traveled out, west to east, almost non-stop, as the girls were sleeping during this time. We stopped briefly to explore the small town of Red Lodge, Montana. This rural town is dependent upon tourism to survive. The Beartooth Highway was actually built to aid in tourism. The towns surrounding Yellowstone wanted to cash in on their popularity when people started driving their cars to national parks. The road was completed in 1936. The road cuts into the mountain and has lots of switchbacks on the ascent to the Beartooth Pass, including multiple cliffside drop-offs. The beginning of the road is a forest, but the highway climbs above the tree line. The timberline is approximately 9,500 feet above sea level, and the land above this is an Arctic tundra. The Beartooth tops out at 10,947 feet. We got to cross up Mia's must-see animal while traversing the tundra when we saw a group of mountain goats relaxing on the hillside. Carrie actually spotted them while driving, and we had to find a spot to turn around. We crested the peak and continued down the other side of the mountain, where trees gradually became more prevalent. We arrived in Red Lodge, Montana, about an hour and 50 minutes after leaving Yellowstone. We only stopped once for the goats.
We just pulled out of Red Lodge, Montana. We're making our way back towards Yellowstone's northeast entrance across the Beartooth Scenic Byway. We are just a few miles outside of town, and we're starting to get into the valley, and we'll be making our way up the mountain, a few switchbacks, steep curves, sharp cliffs. Quite the scenic view. Alright, we're just starting up the switchbacks up the side of the mountain here. Over the next 7 miles, we'll gain another 1,700 feet in elevation. We're currently at about 7,800 feet in elevation. But we're just starting the switchbacks. We've just done our first one. Our next one's coming up here. Switchback. Look at the view.
The Beartooth Highway drives through Custer National Forest and also comes near the Absaroka Beartooth Wilderness area.
Here we are at one of the overlooks, partially up. Switchbacks, you can look up the valley there. You can see way down below us. Down here you can see the first switchback, and it goes up and around. Comes up here, which is where we are, and continues on up the mountain. You can see cars way up on the top. And this isn't the top. We still have more to go after this. Alright, here at the top of the switchbacks, we stopped at the Rock Creek Vista Point, elevation 9190. Has a great lookout over the Rock Creek Canyon here, which is a U-shaped canyon that was carved out by a half-a-mile thick glacier. So I'm going to walk out here to the overlook and take a look. And a short walk up the path. Here's the view.
Oh, here comes big boy.
Where?
Alright, we're almost to the summit up here, and we're crossing from Montana into Wyoming. There's a sign up here that marks the boundary, but it's usually blown down because of the bad weather in the wintertime. And today there is no sign. We're getting close to the peak here of Beartooth Paths, and you can see we're well above the tree line. Not many things grow up here, just a few grasses, shrubs, and mosses, because it's tundra, similar to what you would find in Alaska, and it's one of the few places outside of Alaska where you'll see these plants growing. But if you look down, there's a mountain lake.
But freezing up here. There's a lot of snow.
Alright, here we're at the pull off to look at the Beartooth Mountain off in the distance there, which is for what this road is named after, the Beartooth Highway. And we've reached the summit of our trek across the Beartooth Highway, 10,947 feet in elevation, and a view out over the valley. (10,947 feet) and a view that stretches for miles. Has some alpine lakes down below. We're stopping here at the Island Lake pull off. And this is grizzly bear area. Grizzly bear area. Special rules apply.
There are two major stops at lakes along the highway, Island Lake and Beartooth Lake. Both are beautiful and are great places to stop during your drive.
So our next stop along the Beartooth Highway here is a small waterfall. This pathway used to actually be the original road back from the 30s when they built it. This old bridge here that's closed now is the last remaining original bridge that was built.
There's the new bridge. Here's the old original bridge. Look upstream. Downstream. Alright, we just came back through the Lamar Valley from our road trip on the Beartooth Highway, and we've now started our way back towards the canyon area of the park, and we stopped here at Tower Falls Overlook. So we're going to walk out the walkway. I'm not exactly sure how far it is out there to see the Tower Falls. Here we are at Tower Falls. Alright, that was certainly worth the walk. Just 500 feet back to the overlook. 132 foot drop on those waterfalls, so definitely worth the walk. Our next stop when we leave here will be the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Just pulled into Brink of the Upper Falls. I'm assuming there's a waterfall. We're about to find out. Go down here and see what it's all about. Alright, depending on how far we want to walk, there's several different overlooks of the falls. Upper, middle, lower. So go down here and check out the views to decide how far we want to walk. I think these falls fall 109 feet. I have to double check that. Alright, here's the first overlook. Let's see if it was worth the short walk.
That's where we're going.
Can't quite see it. Just some rainbow in the mist. Continue along the walk. Here's the next viewpoint. cool view. Looks like we've got one more terrace to go. Just a few steps down to the next level. And the view seems to be getting better. Alright, we drove a little bit further down the road now. Went across the bridge to the other side of the river. This is now part of what's considered the South Rim. And this is just another higher up overlook of the falls. It's a very easy walk, very flat. Anyone could do this walk. Our journey has continued. We're a little bit further down the South Rim Road. We are now to Artist Point, which is famous for paintings back in the 1800s before photography. This is where many famous artworks were created and inspired many people to come to Yellowstone.
Because next to it has.
Look at the views.
My favorite.
I mean, I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm not a doctor.
I am.
Just up a few more steps to the next platform.
哇，这边的哦，这边有彩色的。这颜色没有。
So we're headed back down from this last viewing platform that goes out and you can look upstream to the falls and downstream through the canyon. One last look as we walk out. Artist Point. back to the car. Little parking lot fun. All right, the next stop on our journey touring the falls is Brink of the Lower Falls. So before we did Brink of the Upper Falls and the overlooks, and now we're going to the overlook for the Brink of the Lower Falls. This must be the place. Peek some water.
Here you have two options. You can view the falls from a series of overlooks from the canyon's edge, or you can take a hike down to river level and watch the water break over the falls.
The next viewing platform just a little bit further down the path. And just a little bit further down, one more viewing platform here at the Brink of the Lower Falls.
Mom, can I teach you a dance? No.
Brink of the Lower Falls, totally worth it. Very easy walk. Anybody could do it. Certainly if you want to look at waterfalls, check it out. All right, we're just got back to the car, pulling out of the lot for the Brink of the Lower Falls. Anybody have any thoughts they want to share on the day? Things they liked?
The buffalo were crazy.
Look, something that I bet you disliked is that we didn't see your kangaroo.
We did not see any kangaroos.
We didn't see that very rare bird again, and I'm so thankful because it was annoying.
It was a loud bird.